Good afternoon from the DMV. It's your boy Shad, and we are back with another episode of Wrestling Republic Daily. We are going to talk about a good old PLE this upcoming weekend. We got Backlash and good old Francois. We got a nice little card, and we got some predictions for y'all, man. I'm excited for the PLE. Of course, y'all know me, Tiffany Stratton, Truther. It's gonna be one for the show. But I can't do this by myself. I got a prestige panel, and I'm gonna kick it out to good old Canada, where they are having you know, they got a couple of Canadians on this card, and I think he's pretty proud of them. Coby, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. Pretty good. It's Backlash weekend, and of course, we have the allure of it being an international show, and that's probably one of the highest points to expect and to get excited for regarding this show. And that's where I'm here to talk predictions, and it'll be interesting. And let's predict how good this card will actually be.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of complaints on this card. People like it's a little too short of a card. Obviously, we can break that down a little bit too. But we got someone else on the show tonight. He's a person that doesn't pop out as much, but when he does pop out, he definitely leaves a mark, man. Out there in good old Lone Star State, my man Ignacio. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, Shad. Pretty good. Hola. Parlez-vous français? Francis, oui. I'm doing pretty good, man. Nice to be on the show with you guys. Ready to talk about some Backlash. And hopefully
Yes,
I
sir.
won't get backlash for talking about Backlash.
Right, yeah. Yeah, we got two guys that are fan favorites in the comment section on our takes with myself and actually all three of us, because Coby gets a lot
All
of
three of us.
a lot of dirt
All three of us get the
in
hate.
regards to his good old reviews. But let's get right into it, man. We got a comment from our good buddy Coach 23 saying bonjour. What's going on
Bonjour.
with you, bro? All right, we're gonna kick it off, and we're gonna kick it off with the heavy-handed match. We got our champ Cody Rhodes in his first title defense since WrestleMania, going against the phenomenal one AJ Styles. This is a matchup that I feel personally could have been told better story wise, just because there is a lot of history between these guys. I thought the press conference AJ did a good job, especially mentioning, he wrestled his dad. He's never wrestled him, but it's exciting to see these guys going against each other. Obviously, they both were part of a faction that had its anniversary of the creation of it in Bullet Club. I think they could have done a little bit more with storytelling. I'm not gonna say I'm not excited for the match, because I think AJ Styles is one of the best professional wrestlers out there, and Cody Rhodes is the top babyface in the company. So it's gonna be dope to see, especially with them not being able to having to wrestle yet. Also, off of the fact that it's gonna be in a nice hot international crowd, like you were saying in France. The crowd has a lot of energy at the press conference today. We'll get to see SmackDown tonight for the States, with a lot of people who've watched it already saying it was a hot crowd. So I'm excited for it. Before I kick it off to you guys, I'm gonna give my prediction. I don't see any way Cody Rhodes loses his title in the first defense. As great as AJ Styles is, he hasn't been booked to be a viable threat just yet to me. We're kind of just booking this off of the fact that we know he's an incredible superstar and he's going to put on a stellar match. But Cody doesn't lose. I'm not mad that this is the first match going into the pay-per-view. With that being said, I got Cody. I'm going to ask you first, Kobe. Who do you have winning this match? Do you see the potential of an upset, maybe where Styles wins, or is it pretty cut and dry?
I think that's the one thing to say about one of the majority of these matches on the card is it's we can tell the path that are going down, and I think that's what we're doing in this match particularly. they're promoting this new era. They're promoting Cody Rhodes as the face of it. I can't sit here and say AJ Styles has any sort of chance of winning this match because I don't genuinely believe it. The only way I said he would have is if AJ Styles, like if Cody Rhodes was legitimately hurt from that bump, but he worked the last few live events that they did one in Italy and I think the other one was in Germany, I think, or a different country. I can't remember exactly. But he's had 2 matches since the Carmelo Hayes match. So he's not injured, otherwise he would not be doing those matches. So I don't think AJ Styles has a chance to win this as a way of Cody Rhodes just doing the if Cody Rhodes was to just do the match in that sense. I I think it's fine. I think that's part of the reason why this is hard. The way I said this when they were doing the entire the 2 triple threats, winners go to face off, and then the winner's the number 1 contender. I said I would have had LA Knight win because then you can continue. Imagine I don't want to say the heat, but imagine how the storyline changes when Cody Rhodes' first championship defense is ruined by AJ Styles because AJ Styles has a vendetta that he couldn't become the number 1 contender and still a vendetta against AJ's LA Knight. There were plenty of ways to kind of intertwine these stories and get there more heat because we sat here, I think it was Monday. It was me, Clark, and I think it was Josh. And we sat here and we said, if we're looking to critique it, it's going to be very hard to make us believe Cody Rhodes can take a loss. And you have to give him a story. You have to give him importance. And that's what I think would have happened if you had AJ Styles ruin LA Knight versus Cody Rhodes, set up a 3-way for Saudi Arabia, something along those lines. But I'm not mad at this. I think this is one of the last times we'll see AJ Styles in the main event. I think the last pay-per-view main event was him and McIntyre at TLC, I think. Maybe. I can't, like, it's been years since he's had like a high-profile main event feud. And I think we all know, based off of what he said, he's kind of ready to finish it up in the next year or two. And I think it's sad to say because I think he looks great now. He returned and he looks jacked. But I think I think that's the hard part. I hope it delivers. I hope it's not a slow match. I hope I hope we're not sitting here on either come Saturday and we're saying, yeah, I don't know if Cody Rhodes with the belt was the right choice. I hope we're not saying that. I think this should be a really good match, but I don't see AJ Styles winning.
Nah, I feel you on that. And to your point in regards to the whole, storyline of LA Knight and AJ Styles, I didn't even like how they built to get to this title match with AJ and LA Knight wrestling each other in that sense. Like, it's like LA Knight won the match at Mania, but he didn't win the match that maybe in theory mattered more because it's an opportunity for a title. I don't know. It kind of puts LA Knight in a weird area, and it also kind of tells you that LA Knight, they don't look at him as a main event guy just at that magnitude as they do in AJ Styles. But I do agree. I think AJ Styles is a compelling competitor. Got a couple comments here. We got our buddy Andy Nguyen saying WWE Backlash. Yes, we are in full effect for the Backlash tomorrow, my good brother. We got Chris Leclerc, who may be French himself, has French crowds love Bayley. Yes, they were singing the Bayley song. Hey, babe. They're doing that in the crowd. But of course, Tiffany Stratton clears everybody. But we'll talk about that later. Coach 23 says AJ Styles is a great first title defense for Cody. It's similar when Roman won the WWE title way back in 2016 after he won Mania 32. It gave instant credibility to the title reign. I don't.
But it should feel that way. I think it should feel that way. We're sitting here saying there's not really much of a chance of AJ Styles winning. We're not saying AJ Styles is a credible threat to Cody Rhodes' championship reign. And I think that's part of the booking of it is they kind of needed a match with whatever 4 weeks of build, and this is the match they created, and I don't have a problem with it because it should be really good. But we're not saying, oh, this is a feud that continues the momentum that Cody Rhodes had with the momentous win.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And then he got another comment saying, although they could have
Yeah.
lasted it a 3-4. That's true too. I gotta ask you, Ignacio, going into this match, how are you feeling? Do you feel that Cody has any, worry within a threat to AJ Styles in this match? And I mean, how do you just feel about the whole build and everything going into it out of Mania?
Well, I think it was just booked to I don't want to say like a Passover match, for after Mania, but they booked it with the feel that, it's going to be a good match because it's AJ Styles. He's one of the best who's ever done it of all time. Probably our modern era Shawn Michaels, and then Cody Rhodes, who I believe to be the best storyteller of our modern era. So as far as in ring promos, all that good stuff. So they're just booking it for what it is. They haven't booked just like you guys mentioned. They haven't booked AJ Styles as a really credible threat lately, with the exception of him winning the mini tournament that they had to determine the number one contender. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But it's a match to kind of appeal to the hardcores, and I think they missed an opportunity to kind of tell a little bit more of a story by digging down on how Cody was involved with the Bullet Club and how AJ was involved with the Bullet Club and how they ran with the same crews or they know the same blah, blah, blah. But a lot of those people that they ran with or they worked for the other company. So I can understand why they really didn't want to go that route, even though it would appeal to the hardcore fan base and the IWC. But this is the thing is the argument to that is the hardcore fan base is going to watch anyway. But, I think that it would have been a good idea just to kind of tickle their fancies a little bit to bring that into the story. But as far as how this affects like LA Knight, you mentioned it, you guys mentioned it earlier. I think people are just, you said it yourself earlier that, people have short memories, especially the fan base today. So I think they're going to remember LA Knight getting the win over at WrestleMania, and they're just going to remember that AJ challenged Cody for the title at Backlash, and that's it. They're not really going to remember how AJ got there, and he got a win over LA Knight to get there. But I was actually glad because it was actually a clean win, and that was fresh to see on SmackDown for AJ Styles. But I think it's just going to be a great match. I think they're going to tell a great story in the ring, and it's just to give kind of, I hate to use this term with AJ Styles, but it's just kind of somebody to feed to Cody, get him a good win over a very credible opponent, because I think even though that they quote unquote haven't booked AJ as a threat, that AJ is a threat because it is AJ Styles. It's like Dustin Rhodes. It's like Dustin Rhodes in AEW is just like, he loses, but he's a 30-year veteran. He is a threat in every match to anybody. So I think it's, using that logic, it makes sense. So I think it's going to be a great match. I think bar it from anything catastrophic happening to Cody during the match, I pray it doesn't. I pray it doesn't happen to anybody. But anything, if anything, other than anything catastrophic happening in the ring, like an injury to Cody, like I think, yeah, he's going to come out the winner.
Got you. Yeah, no, that's a solid point. And then we've got Coach 23 agreeing with you on here. He's saying that it's like a throwback Shawn Michaels and John Cena match in 2007. I mean, that is true, and I do agree with the point that y'all made in regards to it is one of those cases where he did just win the belt, and this is kind of different, uncharted territories as a champion. I mean, Roman is one of those champs that he didn't have to come to work all the time. He was the tribal chief. He had the head honcho. He kind of do stuff on his time. Cody wants to be here at all facets of the time. He wants to be visible every week. He wants to interact with the fans. He's the babyface champ. And like you guys said, you got to give him storylines that are credible for that reason. And like to what I said earlier, it's gonna be good because this is a fresh matchup and it's something we haven't seen. So with that, I am excited for it, and I am also excited for this next match that we are gonna talk about. Now, a lot of people, including Mr. Soul in the comments, maybe somewhere if he's watching, is very, very much on the opinion that the women's tag team titles do not matter, saying we should just get rid of them. But I think we have a pretty star-studded tag team match going here tonight, tomorrow night, and it's the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, part of Damage Control, going against a super team, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. And I thought this was interesting because I think the fantasy bookers will always been saying that we want to see Bianca versus Jade because I mean, I'll be honest with you, that looks like a money match just off of the fact of those are two powerhouses. But seeing Jade kind of debut and aligning herself with Bianca and being a tag team is super fascinating. Um, Both of these teams are, I guess, not necessarily like tag teams. I guess the Kabuki Warriors are more so, but they're all women that are renowned, incredible solo stars, but it does feel important because they kind of have a little bit of chemistry within the tag team with the Kabuki Warriors. But with Jade and Bianca, it's something that I'm excited to see because they're both powerhouses, and I feel like they are a team that should kind of get in, get out. But I don't know if they can just get in and get out going against the Kabuki Warriors, being how much of a vet Oscar is and Kyrie. Man, this one's hard for me to call because I can really see it go either way. But I'm gonna go with Jade and Bianca becoming new champs tomorrow night. I think it's a good opportunity to get gold on Jade. I think they're just more of the star tandem, and I feel like they can kind of run through shop as champs, and we could eventually get to a storyline against them once they lose the belts to whoever that may be. But I feel like there's something interesting being them as champs, and I also would like to see Asuka, Kyrie, and Damage Control work as solo stars on Raw because that faction is so star heavy that Raw needs more star women's to fill out feuds instead of just having them all bunched in there as a tag team. So I'm gonna go with Jade and Bianca winning it. Coby, what are your thoughts? Do you disagree with me? Am I the biggest idiot in the world, as Bayley would say, or do you agree?
I think it's incredibly hard to sit here and say Kabuki Warriors have a chance of winning this. I think unless we're getting a premature Jade turns on Bianca or Bianca turns on Jade in coming out of this match, like I don't see Kabuki Warriors having a shot. Damage Control hasn't been looked like a threat. They took 10 minutes on a Monday Night Raw to beat a random team of 3, and we expected them to be credible threats to the big 3 at WrestleMania, and then they weren't. The Damage Control is getting the shaft in this entire scenario. They're not looking good. They're hopefully this match isn't a squash, but I mean, I think we know how it's going to go. Bianca Belair is going to be the one to take the beating, take the sell, do the selling, get the people behind him, or hurt not him, but behind her, so Jade can get the hot tag. Jade gets the hot tag, bada bing, bada boom, done. Like it's probably going to be similar to that. And the biggest thing is I think this is one of the most predictable matches on this show because, like you said, when you introduced this match, you announced Jade and Bianca as a super team. That's exactly what this is. How am I supposed to bet against the super team in this case? I can't. I wouldn't lose I'm not willing to lose money in that matter. It's the weirdest thing is I think they put themselves in a weird position because the Jade and Bianca are on SmackDown. And that's where, like we saw recently, if you're not a top star, it's kind of hard to get TV time. We saw Cameron Grimes spent a year doing nothing. Braun Breaker had 2 squash matches in 3 months. Like, there's a lot of like, yes, it's different because Bianca's established and they're establishing Jade, but they're having a title that's not the main focus. and the main focus will never be the tag titles. If we're talking about the tag titles and the women's championship on SmackDown, it's going to be weird. I think if I'm looking from booking mistake, or booking standpoint, I think it is a mistake taking the titles away from Monday Night Raw, because they're going to get a bigger focus on Monday Night Raw if they were there, but they're on SmackDown. But I can't see Kabuki Warriors winning this match, and that's kind of the gutting feeling, is like I don't see a room for surprise in this match.
Got you. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. It's gonna be interesting. It needs to take more to get these women's tag titles to matter. And we'll just have to wait and see. Ignacio, just a quick bit. Who do you think is gonna win?
Yeah, I think Jade and Bianca are going to take the titles tonight. There's no question. They're just using it to build their story, you know. And the tag team, the women's tag team, they got a lot of talented women, right? And they just kind of throw them together for the sake of having a women's tag team title division, because, bro, there's not enough time. You know, if you were going to have serious storylines and focus the women around the tag team titles, I mean, there's just not enough TV time to build those kind of stories. They barely do it with the men's division. I mean, you know, it's true. It's just kind of hard. So I think they're just using this as an avenue to build Jade and Bianca story, which is nothing wrong with that, because, you know, I said it on earlier shows that, you know, I think they're building Jade to be a star, and she's probably going to win. She's my favorite to win the 2025 Royal Rumble, Women's Royal Rumble.
Okay. Hey, we'll have to see. But I must say there is something for certain that will hold everyone down, and it's not a title match. It is the good people at Next Level. And if y'all are fans of Wrestling Republic, I must tell you, there is not an easier avenue to find everything we're doing with the website listed below. nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic. You have all of our content. You have our Instagram, our Twitter, YouTube, the website, and you find everything consolidated in one area. Look, we do a lot of great things on the daily podcast, but there's a lot of great stuff that are happening on different avenues, man. You got the website, Coby and his team with all the reviews for everything going on with weekly television. You got Anthony and his team with all the opinion articles, as well as all the different little posts and arguments that you get to see y'all have against me on the Instagram page. It's all good there. Drizzy doing the live tweets. Use this website below, man. You can find us doing everything. They're good brothers over there, and they always have fun stuff popping out in regards to opportunities to win prizes. They flew someone into Mania this past April. They got people video games to the WWE 2K24. They doing big stuff. So support them, support us, man, and let's get back into the rest of this review, because we got some comments in here in regards to the last topic. Coach 23 did say he has Jade and Bianca winning as well. Our good buddy Chris Leclerc said Bianca Belair wins the WWE Women's Tag Title at Backlash. She becomes the 9th woman to become a Triple Crown winner. That's intriguing. That's what's up. Bianca Belair has done a lot in a little time frame as she's gone to the main roster these last 4 years. It's pretty remarkable, and I think she's a person that is someone you are not surprised that she's in some sort of title picture. So salute to her. All right, next match that we got is another tag team match, and it's a little different. There's no title involved, but there's some bloodline involved, and we have the new rendition of the bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Tamatanga versus the Viper, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I gotta ask, Ignacio, before I pass it off to you, is this one difficult to call? Because I think the new bloodline is gonna win. I feel like they're the hot team right now. I love Kevin Owens, but he seems like the fall guy in this match, and I feel like you want to progress this, suited Solo team. But how you calling it? Do you think it's KO and Randy's time, or do you think it's Tama and Solo?
No, well, they gotta get these guys the bloodline over. I mean, they're coming off of WrestleMania with not a more interesting story, but continuing their story. There's their storyline and trying to build up towards, is who's Solo taking orders from, or is he trying to run this thing by himself? What's Rock going to do? Is Rock involved? When's Roman going to come back? So it's just something to continue that storyline, and they're doing very well at it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they're gonna use Kevin Owens as he's taking the pin, but what would be a little bit of a surprise and something different they can do is they have Orton take the pin, because Orton's just kind of one of those guys that, and Owens is too, but Owens is just Orton's just one of those guys that's kind of impervious to burial. Like, no matter what you do to him, you're not going to bury him. So he's just kind of like, if he takes the pin from Solo, I mean, you're not going to ruin Orton's reputation or anything like that, so it would be good for him to put somebody over like that. Doesn't that, they don't have to do it clean. There can be shenanigans involved, because what's his name? Tama Tonga's going to be out there with them, I assume. They can have him get over also on Orton or Owens or wherever. But I mean, Solo's the one that looks like they're kind of trying to push right now. So, I don't see it hurting giving Solo a win over Orton, just to kind of put him over the hump a little bit, and then later on they can have a singles match either in Saudi or SummerSlam or whatever, and then maybe Solo can get a clean win over Orton there, and hold and behold, we're building another star. So that's pretty much Orton's purpose right now, is to build stars this late in his career. Even though he's he's, people say, and I believe, I'm for it, he's better than he's ever been. But I mean, we're trying to build stars here, because we're trying to get him ready for Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest, and get him ready for Logan Paul and all that stuff. So I think that's the important thing right now, is that WWE start building some stars, so we can start seeing some new fresh faces in the main event scene.
No, for sure. You know what? I really do like the idea of Randy taking the pin, because to your point, that's like a benchmark in a career, is getting a pin on a Randy Orton at a, PLE like Backlash, being able to beat him in that match. That can only elevate Solo or elevate Tama Tonga as we continue this storyline, like you said, continue to build them as a up and coming stars in here. We got Slayer did say Solo hasn't won a match since beating John Cena. Yeah, he's kind of got to win, right? That's kind of crazy. But like I said, wins and losses don't matter as much as they really do, as long as the character is booked well. I mean, when you mentioned that, right? He hasn't won a match since then. What was he doing? He was going against viable competitors, being Roman's fall guy. He's not his fall guy no more. So now he gets an opportunity to be his own man.
But it's kind of like you kind of don't really pick apart his win-loss record so much when you think about the work he's been doing on the microphone lately. And that's been impressive, because it's such short span of time that he's been with the company, 3 years or so now. I'm counting with his time in NXT, which I think was short also, but be it as it may,
8 months.
He's been doing
something like that.
He's been doing a very good mic work. So I think that's kind of overshadowing in the smart marks. They want to say, well, he hasn't lost a match and since whatever 15-0, whatever. Dude. He's just like, he's doing very, very good mic work. He's actually listening to Paul Heyman and listening to advice, because he's been doing very well character wise, and that's the important thing, because if he's going to be getting a big main event push, he's going to need character build up, mic skills. And I'm a guy that likes to follow, or wins and losses do matter to me, but it's just like where you are in the card. And it's just, was Solo on top of the card, when he was go 0-50 or whatever? No, he's getting pushed into the main event. So now they're going to get him some wins.
Yeah, but even with that, obviously we wrap up this topic, going to the next one, but a lot of them losses are also at house shows. Like, do we really even count those? Like,
Exactly.
I'm not counting a lot of those. We got a lot of comments also Coach 23 thinking that Jacob Fatu is gonna make a debut tomorrow. Let's see, man. That'd be interesting. He's definitely one of my favorite guys in the Anand family. I think he's very talented. So it'd be cool to see if he did make a debut. Numero one Superfly is also saying he's expecting to see Fatu pull his inner solo, come out in the hood, beats up Randy and cost the RKO the match. That'd be interesting. I gotta ask you, Coby, just real quickly, who you got winning this match?
I think it's tough to say Orton and Kevin Owens have a shot here. I mean, this is the entire storyline is they're building a new bloodline. This is Solo Sikoa becoming not the tribal chief, but he's becoming the guy who calls the shots. We have Tom. He's bringing in Tamatanga, his MFT. I don't think we even know what it stands for, but I mean, the thing is like we said,
probably can't say what
when he's saying wins and losses matter and losing comes with consequences. You can't have him go on to lose.
Yeah,
they need the bloodline is getting the win here. I like the idea of Orton taking the fall, but I think they want to protect him because he's still a future world championship contender for a Cody Rhodes, for a Damian Priest, a Jey Uso, whoever has the world title at the point. You can still put Randy Orton in that position to feud with them. So I think it is Solo and Tama with the win.
Okay, I respect it. MFT stands for my freaking Tonga. That's what it means. All right, I'm convinced on that. Can't say what it really stands for because there's a explicit word in that one. But you mentioned the name Jey Uso, and then we go to this next match going on the card. We do have a former member of the Bloodline, Jey Uso, going against a Damian Priest. I must say, guys, this build up to this match has been one that has been good, but then has also been kind of but then it's got good at times, but it's got my attention. I think the Raw main event scene is kind of loaded. I think they got a lot of talented guys where it is kind of bled through to the mid card title too, because I think you can also pull guys from the IC division to compete for this World Heavyweight title. But it's gonna be interesting because it is Damian Priest's first title defense coming out of Mania. He obviously cashed in his briefcase, and you can make an argument to say, is Priest a transitional champion? How much of a shelf life do we have with this? There's this whole outlier with him being part of, Judgment Day and them kind of breaking up. And then you got a guy like Jey Uso over like Rover, man. The guy's got the crowd eating at the palm of his hand. He got the slogan. He's got the crowd engagement. He is Mr. Main Event Jey Uso for a reason. And I think he's a person that could be a viable champ. I mean, I thought a few years ago he could have been the guy to possibly get the title off of Roman just off of storyline purposes. But I think he is a talented competitor. But, just how quick this storyline has kind of been built and it being Priest's first title defense, I don't think they, pull the carpet under his feet just out the gate. I think this will be a good, first defense in regards to beating a viable competitor. So I got Damian Priest winning. I must ask you, Cobe, who do you have winning?
And I think I can say Damian Priest is winning this match because the entire thing, and I don't want to say there's been more build to this aspect of it, but there's almost more interest personally and more kind of, okay, I like where they're going. I want to see where they're going. And that was the entire build around what Damian Priest and the JD and Finn are doing. Damian Priest has the confidence. He's saying, I don't need you anymore. You guys are with me because I say so, type of thing. And then you have JD cost him the match. And then you have this. And there's a lot of, I don't want inter-Judgment Day dynamics that are being developed and being built. And that, I don't want to say that's where the money is, but that's where I'm interested in. I'm shocked when on the one promo they had, they were both claiming, "Oh yeah, you're the guy the company's putting it in the position to make me look good." I was shocked that's what they were able to say. But I mean, it is true. I mean, Jey Uso has to perform well. He's going to have a hot international crowd doing the hand wave for him, and it'll be great to see, and it'll be enjoyable. But Damian Priest needs this win more than ever, and I think it was obvious when they had that promo package that almost teased him going face, where it was like, oh yeah, no, this is the guy where this title win means something, and he has his own story. If we're gonna continue with that type of narrative, I think Damian Priest is getting this match, and I just hope this delivers, because we kind of saw Jay and Jimmy, I don't want to say struggle, but it didn't live up to the hype everyone else had for it. And I don't want this to be the same thing where you're in the same kind of, oh, there's going to be super kicks, there's going to be Simone drop, spear, Uso spot. I want to see at least Damian and Jey Uso doing something interesting and performing a solid match. But it is interesting. If we're talking who's the better worker, it's tough. Jey Uso's has been a primarily tag team wrestler. This is him being in a world title match that's not with a top star, i.e. Roman Reigns. This is Damian Priest, and I don't want to say it's going to be tough to see who carries the match. I don't want to speculate on that. I'm not a wrestler who can speak on that matter, but I think it is going to be interesting, and I hope it does deliver, and it's not a sleeper in the same way that Jay and Jimmy was. Like, I just hope it is entertaining, but Damian Priest is going to win.
Okay. Yeah, a sleeper, but he meant sleeper as it made you fall asleep, by the way, not a sleeper good match with Jay and Jimmy.
Right.
But nah, I definitely agree. I think Damian Priest is a sensational worker, though. I think he's a better in-ring competitor style wise for that. And I think the issue with Jimmy and Jay is that their styles are just completely the same, where it became that I feel like they could have done a better job with storytelling, but that's the past. We're here for the present. Couple comments in. Coach 23 saying that he got Priest taking the W. Numero 1 saying that I've got Damian winning. However, we got more arguing in the Judgment Day due to miscommunication. Maybe Damian makes the team stay, only for them still to come out anyways. Could definitely see that happening. 23 saying, I don't know, but so far, Priest is booked like an IC champ rather than a world champ. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He also says Jay needs the IC or US title reign before transitioning to the world heavyweight title. I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily a thing where you have to, like, he's one of the most iconic.
I think he would have.
teams.
It would have been better if he had the mid card title reign when he was still in the Bloodline, and it
Yeah.
was still in the pandemic in the Thunderdome. He wins the IC title. Him and Roman are the two champions on SmackDown. That type of visual would have been great. But I think he is that main event talent. It's like saying, oh yeah, Drew McIntyre should have a IC title run now because he hasn't. He just lost his main title. He just lost the world heavyweight title in 5 minutes. He doesn't deserve another one. It's like,
Sure.
it's like saying CM Punk needs an IC title reign. They're both at the top of the card. They're all at the top of the card, and they don't need to go further down. That's why I still want Sami Zayn to get a world title reign, but I digress.
For sure, he deserves that. Ignacio, I must ask you, how do you got this match going? Do you think that Jey Uso is gonna yeet his way to becoming the world heavyweight champion? And you got Priest retaining.
No, it's definitely going to be the Priest retaining, but I think this is. I don't want to say it's going to be a lackluster. I think that it's going to be a good match, but I don't think they're going to. And I don't want to say that WWE or Triple H or whatever is going to handcuff them, but I don't think it's going to be as good a match as they can potentially have, because I think it's made to push to further the breakup of the Judgment Day, which I think is imminent, because I think McDonough or Dom or Finn is probably going to try to do some shenanigans and interfere, and then Damian's going to berate them or what have you. He'll come out with the win, but I think Damian further the mindset that Damian can do this on his own, and he doesn't need the Judgment Day. and then we got to give somebody to Dame, because this is both these guys' chance, their opportunity, their first match, give or take. Jay's had a couple of main events, with Roman, but I mean, they've never really been like the focal point of the main event picture, really like this before. Yeah, Jay was with the Bloodline, and he was, I don't want to say riding their coattails, but he was, there for the whole peak of the Bloodline and so forth. But I mean, he's never really been the focal point, other than those couple of matches with Roman, which were very good. But they're gonna be nervous. Uh, you know, they're gonna be his first time, kind of them being kind of like in the main event limelight. In my opinion, they haven't really pushed Damian Priest as a big time main event star. They're trying to just, let's give him the title and let's try to build him up. And along the way, we're gonna break up the Judgment Day, and maybe that'll make him more of a star. So I think that's all this match does. Is it gives them, I don't want to say practice, but practice to be the focal point of a main event spot, and it's to further the breakup of the Judgment Day, which is, I think, is the real story here. It's not Damian Priest defending or with the title, because I do think eventually he'll drop it, probably at SummerSlam to Punk or McIntyre or somebody else. I think the main focal point is how is Priest gonna enhance the breakup of the Judgment Day, and is that gonna make him a star?
Nah, I got you. I mean, it's it's tricky because, like, even to what Coach 23 was saying, who's really the, like, main event guy for that belt? I guess it is a premise of it being like feeling like a secondary belt for a while, where it is us trying to. It's tough because I feel like we had a great champion sets before, and I don't think Priest is a main event guy personally. I never really thought he was. I was one that was a little on the board of, I don't know if I want him to cash in, just because I was compelled by Drew being the champ. But I do understand why he does have it, because you have to kind of build your guys to be eventual main event guys. Um, but it it should be interesting. I'm curious to see how it goes. I'm curious to see, like you were saying, the direction of the Judgment Day. I think him and Finn is a money match down the road for sure. Finn being a guy who is, in my mind, one of those guys who can teeter being a main event guy, but also being an upper mid card guy. Uh, it should be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if this is the main event, but to me, this is the main event. We have our women's title match, and I'm gonna be real with y'all. I think this got potential being match of the night, just off of the fact that these three women are very good competitors, very good athletes, vets. Bayley is a vet, Naomi is a vet, Tiffany Stratton is a rising star. We got Tiffany, Naomi, and Bayley in a triple threat match. You know me, man. My heart is always going to say I want Tiffany Stratton to win this match, because I think Tiffany Stratton is a person that has an immense amount of potential. I think she is going to be one of your top women superstars for the WWE for years to come. But
Better.
I'm also aware that it may not be her time just yet, because we do have someone incredibly as talented as Bayley getting her moment at Mania, it being her first title defense. I don't see Bayley losing this match, but I do think it's going to be an incredible match. I like the storyline built into it as well. I think Naomi and Tiffany having, the high tides of them feuding with each other leading into this match has been phenomenal. I think they have like a feud that feels like an actual feud. They bring that energy towards each other. And then you got someone as good as Bayley, who had an incredible match with EO at Mania, being able to be the vet, can kind of, orchestrate through it. And Naomi being a person that's returned, I think she's kind of been underrated of what she's done in ring wise. I think she's had good in ring matches, and give her some opportunities to shine and have storylines, and we get the ball rolling with her. But I think this is good. I always say SmackDown got the stars, man. This is why I thought the draft was important, to try to add a little bit more balance. You put Judgment Day, I mean not Judgment Day, Damage Control there. You got more stars, but SmackDown still got. Look at this show tomorrow, right? All the women almost are on SmackDown in regards to Bianca, Jade, Naomi, Tiffany, Bayley. Like they got a lot of stars on that roster. They're a lot more star heavy. So I got Bayley retaining. I must ask you, Coby, as a fellow Tiffany Stratton truther yourself, how you got this match going?
I think that's I mean, it's painful to say. I think Tiffany Stratton deserves it. I think I want to see her with the world title, whether it's this year, whether it's next year. She's, like we said, it would be incredibly hard to screw up Tiffy time and make her not the star she's already becoming. It's obvious she was over in Australia. She was over in France. I think we're in the point where she should be the one to dethrone Bayley, which is why I think she needs to be protected in this match. I think Bayley has to pin Naomi in this match because I don't see Bayley losing the belt in her second televised defense, because she defended against Naomi. I do think we're going to get a Nia Jax match. That might be the match for King/Queen of the Ring. Or is it King and Queen of the Ring? I can't remember how they're billing that event. But
Yeah,
I think
it
that's
is
the way
King
it's
and
going to
Queen.
go. King and Queen of the Ring. Yeah. So I think that's what's going to happen. Is I think Nia Jax will be the next to face Bayley. But I think Tiffany Stratton needs to be protected in this match, and I think she can't take the pinfall. I know they were kind of hype. They were doing a kind of a mini undefeated streak. But then they gave her the loss to Naomi, so I don't think she needs another one at this point. But I think it's tough to say Bayley's not going to retain in this match. And I think that's the entire kind of premise of this card. Is there's a lot of them are predictable. We're not going to see the first defenses and be their last type of thing. But I think it'll be a really good match. Like you said, has the potential to steal the show, has the potential to I don't want to say take over, but it has the potential to be the show stealer. And I
Right.
think that's what excites me about this match, because
No,
it's three
my
top
bad. I mean,
stars.
no, I totally agree with you. And you know, the difference of this match, in my opinion, is the fact that it is a triple threat match, and you can make a case. Like every competitor in this match holds validity to potentially be a champ, right?
Right.
Tiffany being as over as she is with the fans, you know, she's gonna have the fans eating at the palm of her hand tomorrow, as well as Bayley too. They both were very over at the press conference, and I think this is a feud that you kind of do have. You have a lot of shelf life with this feud, and it is a feud that you could potentially go to down the road this year, where Tiffany, when she is ready, does beat Bayley for the title, being the one to get that SmackDown title. But I like the point with Nia Jax. I even like the point of it, like, you know, very reminiscent of like Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Maybe Tiffany and Nia aligning with each other in that same sort of like, you know, storyline in a way with Alexa and Nia when they were teaming with each other. Different, obviously, not as cheesy, bully-esque and whatnot, but having Nia and her align at a point, right? Nia being the heavy for her, and them, you know, being a tag team. Maybe they feud with
That
Jade and
yeah,
Bianca down the road, right?
that's probably a future tag title reign, not reign, but
Right,
that's probably a future tag team to face Jade and Bianca. I would
right.
think Nia
And
and
then
Tiffany Stratton.
And
Yeah,
this is why Nia is good at this role. Eventually, when Tiffany is over as she is as champ, Nia turns on her, and we got our feud over there as well. So there's a lot of a story to that. But Bailey's got a lot of opportunity to do with some fun stuff with this title as well. We got a lot of comments actually. Um, Coach 23, you know, quoting what I'm saying, man. Heart says Tiffy, brain says Bailey. Although
mm,
I do see Tiffany as Miss Money in the Bank. That's what I've been saying that. And she only confirmed that the other day because she said she wants the
she wants the
briefcase
pink
that's pink,
briefcase. Yeah,
bedazzled,
pink
all
and
of that.
jeweled.
Money. It's money, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Chris
that'd be money.
Leclerc says Tiffany Stratton is not ready to be champion on the main roster. Yo, don't make me
Get the hell
shadow
out of
ban
here.
you. Don't make me
Yeah,
shadow ban you, brother.
Yeah,
Don't be
exactly.
shadow banned over here, man. I'm hosting today. I can do that. Nah, I'm messing with you. He said the only L for Trips new era is the PLE names. Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Eh.
I mean, Backlash has been a pretty standard
I
pay-per-view
mean,
for the most.
do you want WrestleMania Backlash back? I don't.
I don't either.
I digress.
Bayley is one of the best performers in WWE. I definitely agree with you on that. That's my wife's favorite wrestler, so she's gonna probably make me sleep on the couch if Tiffany Stratton wins. So, hopefully Bayley does win for my back posture. We got. I want this to be the main event since Bayley wasn't able to get one at Mania. It would definitely be a good like closing match or an opening match, just because I think it's gonna have a lot of, you know, lot of stuff
Okay.
going on, man. You're gonna see a lot of,
Hot
you got some
atmosphere.
workers. Atmosphere is gonna be hot for it too. Some fun spots. Leclerc says I want to see Bayley versus Blair Davenport. All right, man. You telling me that Tiffany Stratton's not ready, but you want to see Blair Davenport in a title match? Oh my goodness, man.
I
All
mean, I would
right.
too. To be fair, I would too. I
I
think
like
Blair
Blair Davenport,
was
but
talented.
what sense does that make? You can't. Anyways, I digress on that. Come on, Clash at the Castle, Bash and Bro. Okay, I got you. I got you. King and Queen of the Ring.
Eh,
Nah, I can
eh,
understand what you're
he's
saying
fine.
on that. I will say this, and obviously I'm gonna get to Ignacio next because he's, itching to talk about
Chomping
Tiffany
at the
time as
bit. Yeah.
well. I see it in your face, bro. But I will ask you this also too. Last year Backlash was also overseas, right? In Puerto Rico. This year
Puerto
is in
Rico.
France. Do you think that it really matters about these cards being like high profiled or having a lot of significant matches and builds to it just because they are obviously catering it to being a pay-per-view overseas and they know that they're going to get ticket sales and people watching regardless? I ask you, Ignacio, what do you think?
Not really, because they're just trying. Not really, because they're just trying to build their uh, fan base in other countries and other parts of the world. Like they have a big fan base globally all over the world already, but it's trying to get them more excited about the product by letting them know, by going to these places and letting them know, hey, we're going to do more pay-per-views and Raws and SmackDowns and shows, more important shows, more big-time PLEs in your neighborhood, not just house shows or simple, little tours around the block, and then we pepper in a SmackDown or Raw now then. So I think that's the gist of what they're doing, business wise now. And until SummerSlam, of course, because the only PLE that's going to be SummerSlam's the only PLE that's going to be in the States up until then. So, yeah, they're just trying to get the fans globally more excited about the product, about their product, getting them excited when the next time tickets are going to be on sale and so forth. And I think it's a good idea. So I don't think it's so much that they need to have a WrestleMania card at all these types of shows. They don't, but yeah, it's just trying to bring more attention to the product, try to get the fans in Europe more excited about the product. I'd like to see them go to maybe Mexico or in South America and Japan maybe sometime one day. But what was that?
I said no. That would be sick if they did it in Japan.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I'm pretty sure that's something like that's in the works. They go to India once in a while, so yeah, they're trying to expand their business model, and I think it's a good idea because now there's talk about maybe, hey, let's bring WrestleMania to London, and it seems like the more and more talk there is, the more and more that's a possibility. So if they say, well, if London gets it, maybe Scotland will get it, maybe Scotland can get it, maybe Mexico City can get it, maybe Tokyo, and so on and so on.
Nah, I got you.
So I can hear it in the distance. Soul's wallet just groaned out madly. If Scotland was getting a WrestleMania,
Yeah, I mean, he will be at this over here, Clash at the Castle, June 15th. That is also on Bayley's birthday. You are a big Bayley fan, my friend. You know a lot about her that I didn't realize. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
And
let's
then we
flag
got
that guy.
he says, agree, remembers the other wrestling company's biggest gate was London, so agree, building more and stronger equity. Very valid point right there. I got to get it back to you on this, though, Ignacio. In regards to the women's match, Bayley, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, thoughts on it? Do you think that we potentially get a new champ with Naomi or Tiffany, or do you think Bayley retains?
Nah, yeah, I think Bayley retains. I've talked about on previous shows about what I think about Tiffany Stratton. I think she's an exceptional talent, on the mic, personality wise, and in the ring. But I just don't think it's her time, and I don't think she needs to be necessarily around this top main event team in the women's division. I think they needed to give her like a veteran like a Becky Lynch. Or Becky Lynch, we all know what happened with her. She became the world champion, but another veteran to work with, to get her over in and around the upper mid card. Just to get her some more exposure. And yes, she's over, but she's going to be able to keep that momentum. I'm not a big fan of triple threat matches to begin with. So, I think this match should be 7 minutes at the most. I think Naomi's going to take the pin. I don't think, she's that great to begin with. I think it's a cluster because you have Naomi, who's I don't think is that great. You have Tiffany Stratton, who doesn't have that much experience, in these types of matches. And you have Bayley, who's going to try to hold everything together. And I think it's going to be a lackluster match and doesn't need to be that long.
Oh man, there you go.
Firing the shots.
Finally, the
wait
first
until the last
on
moment. Wait until the last moment to empty the magazine over there.
I will say this to go around the horn. What do you think will be the match of the night? I think in ring wise, the favorite should probably be Cody and Styles, right? That should probably on paper be.
Yeah, it's Cody and Styles. Yeah.
I mean, put it this way, it better be. I like I said, I think the women's match can steal the show, but I think that's the only other one capable. Like, I think something has to go wrong for Cody and Styles to not deliver. And I mean, depending on how it plays out, I think the Bloodline versus RKO could be fun too. It could be a sleeper match, but I don't know if it'd be match of the night, but I do expect it to deliver tremendous.
That very well may be my dark horse match of the night off of the fact that I think Kevin Owens is like one of those guys who really his numbers just rise when it comes to pay-per-view times, because I feel like he delivers in the big lights of pay-per-views and he puts on a show and he's able to, perform with his in-ring ability. He can sell. He's good at making guys look great. I thought the triple threat match at Mania was one of the best matches of the entire weekend with him, Orton, and Logan Paul. And a lot of that is a credit to what Kevin Owens can do. And I think Randy's Randy, right? He's one of the GOATs in his business. So it has a good chance. The question is those guys on the other side. I know what Solo Sikoa can do as a professional wrestler. I think he's a pretty solid worker, great character, looks strong. Tama Tonga, I've enjoyed him in New Japan. I've never seen him wrestle in WWE before. And his first match really being in a pay-per-view, that's kind of exciting, but you're kind of also curious because it is the truth. It is a different style of wrestling in WWE than it is in other promotions, right? So that's kind of a big litmus test. It is a tag team match, though, so he's got leeway, but it's not like he's tagging with a vet. He's tagging with a relatively newer guy in the industry. So, but they got Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, so I can't, say that it'll be anything bad or whatnot. I think it should go solid. But yeah, all in all, it should be a good pay-per-view. Got a couple more comments in. He says he loves Tiffany Stratton too. Chris, I'm honestly just joking with you, brother. Don't take anything I say serious, man. We also got Coach 23 saying Kevin Owens' balance and in-ring action, storytelling, and a little bit of indifferent, very well. Indie-rific. That's what the word. I was like, that's not even a real word. Yeah, KO's a gem, man. But all in all, it should be fun. To those who are watching SmackDown tonight, watch it. If you already watched it, congrats. Don't tell me anything. But we'll be back tomorrow, man. 8 o'clock UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, 12 Pacific. With the daily, we'll be reviewing SmackDown. I believe.
I think
it'll
be later. I think it'll be later.
Oh no, it may be different tomorrow. We are going to be reviewing the show tomorrow.
It'll be pretty much right after Backlash.
He's correct.
Reviewing that show.
Yeah, just have your bell on the YouTube. If you're not subscribing, subscribe to us. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow to break down good old Backlash. Yeah, man, thank you guys for rocking with us, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.